Um, and of course, in this piece, I did not go and study each tradition and try to do a so-called accurate fusion of the two. What I tried to do was to observe, to research, to know the history of both, and more importantly, to understand the theoretical nexus under each tradition in order to allow my imagination to be inspired, and from there to make the body of this work.
Yes, and you know, of course, this both you know, let's say discourses or both the traditions have this very different, you know, notions of the body, and or you can kind of distill certain ideas there, and I felt that it was, you know, really nicely done. You know, like in a way you put things to kind of tone down certain things, have certain one or two ironies about expression, and also you bring them as some kind of characters, you know, like that, which is, you know, practically not a very usual approach to choreography or just to construct a character.
Yeah.
But in a way you embody them with certain distance.
Yeah. Yes, of course. I mean, I was very well aware that when I made this piece in 2009, certainly in contemporary dance, that I was going against, by using, like I said, by using the theoretical ideas from both. Of course, what I produce would in so many ways be different than what we're seeing on a lot of contemporary stages aesthetically. And that because, I mean, now I think people are questioning, but certainly for a long time, the aesthetic principles of the No Manifesto have kind of been the predominant aesthetic in contemporary dance, even though this was written in, I don't know, 60 something. But it was we say it was taken again and used.
Reassessed, perhaps.
Reassessed, yeah. But I think it really it became something that really kind of, many people thought, shown the way into a new way of thinking about dance, even though it was from the 60s. It was needed now. And I had felt that it had become a bit doctrinaire. And so, because of the work I was doing, of course...
But also in New York, you know, I would say it became like a very intense doctrine, you know, like you should not...
You should not do this, you should not do that. And I looked at all of those things from the No Manifesto, and I just changed the no to maybe. And so of course this makes for a very different kind of kind of performance, and a kind of strategies are very different.
Yeah, and also you have articulated in this format of, you know, really related with sizes, you know, which is interesting. Also, the size of clothing. And you know, that I found very interesting to kind of to create the scaffolding for your creative process and creative project. Here we just saw one that is the small.
Yes.
And what is different of this? That you actually mentioned that you are glad that this was the one that came first.
Yes. Well, there are many things. The sizes refer to the size of the audience that I believe that should be allowed to see the piece at one time.
Oh wow.
Size also refers to the volume of the space that's used. And each one of them, because of those things, because of the space and because of the number of the people in the audience, negotiates with the audience with a different kind of negotiating tool, I would say. The small is the one that is trying to develop discourse. So in a way, it's the introduction to these ideas. It is the one that I thought would be the most about debate. It is the one that I wanted to kind of start the debate.
Okay.
And so I wanted it to kind of introduce him, because the medium now has been singing, and the medium mimosa really deals with entertainment. If you haven't, some people, I mean, of course it is also affected by the way we perform it, but I think that if you haven't already joined the discourse around this work in the series, you could see the one that deals with entertainment and just go ha 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 ha, and not somewhat see what's operating underneath.
Yeah.
And so I was very happy that they should, and hopefully next year they will also bring extra small. So hopefully next year you will be able to see in Panorama the the medium, mimosa, and also extra small.
Have you done in sessions several of these pieces? For example, if in one festival, do
Yes.
some of them?
In New York, at the kitchen I did small, medium, and extra small, and also at the Impulse Tons Festival this past summer we did medium, extra small, and small.
Yeah. Do you think that this is a project that keeps growing as a project, or keeps growing of you, or you feel that it's leading you to the other?
Well,
the next one?
I hope it ends, to be quite frank. I mean, the idea was that this was really supposed to, I mean, this was going to be the end of my dealing with voguing and this discursive relationship with early postmodern dance, because I've been doing this since 2001.
Yeah.
So I do think that this will always be in my work, of course.
Yeah.
It will always be a part of my work. There's no way. It's the thing that has been the most that I've digested. So I don't think you will ever go to my work and not see it there. Yeah. But this is the culmination, yes, this project, this series. And I mean, when I started this project, I thought it would last 2 years, 3 years max. Mm-hmm. And I started, let's say, in 2007, and it's not going to end until 2013. So this is a good 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, good 6.5, 7 years. So it's time.
Yeah. You know, like sometimes I think that really, you know, like what you have done in this work is because the resonance, you know, something that we talked also yesterday, how this also is part of the story of our discourses. And in let's say in downtown New York, in certain way, you might have brought, you know, Paris is burning to, you know, like in certain way to downtown, to do downtown New York in this kind of, you know, our community.
No. Well, for sure, when I started the work in 2001, I mean, what I was doing was spit upon. Yeah. People were not into it. They were not supportive. It was not the thing to do. And I think that that's changed. Yeah. You know, now I see a lot of other young artists who are now I'm doing with voguing, and that's just a matter of fact. But it wasn't such a matter of fact in 2001. Yeah. So I do think that in a way I opened up a space for this kind of work to be considered. Yeah, for sure. It's in New York. And I think this is happening in Europe as well. Yeah. I think because people didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, but I think that for my experiences in the European perspective, it has like another basis, you know, like their understanding of, okay, this is, you know, there is a context, there's this guy from New York, you know, that they might see you as doing this voguing thing and then trying to understand historically from the outside even what is this Judson Church thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That is, and the titles has a very important context. And conceptually for the whole piece to live.
Well, I mean, I think you said it very well, and I think that, you know, embedded in the work also is the idea of this famous documentary, Paris is Burning, which introduced voguing. So a lot of people don't even know when they read the title that that's referring to that documentary. And that's important in a way because that also acknowledges a certain kind of distance from the material, that I'm not a voguer. So of course I've experienced all these things where people think I'm a voguer, and of course this is part of the process.
And the African American, you know, because there is, you know, all the issues are there.
All of them are there. But I try my best to problematize the space that I occupy in the work. I try that the work is not just that my position in it is also problematized. That this appropriation, this observation that I'm doing is not, you know, it's not without questioning. And I question it myself and the methodologies I use and the strategies I use within the work. So I try to expose that as best I can. But
well, thank you very much, and we are getting ready to go to a show over there, and everybody's going. All right, very nice to have you here.
Thank you.
To reconnect. Fine.